This time on Distant Shores, we take you to one of the world's most popular sailing and bareboat charter destinations, the British Virgin Islands, or BVI, where Paul and I have returned again and again throughout 40 years of international cruising. We'll show you why we love it, why some cruisers don't, why we think it's a great place to invite guests new to sailing aboard, or show your loved ones the joy of the sailing lifestyle, if they're a bit skeptical about your dream to sail off into the sunset on your own boat. Throughout, we'll highlight some of our favorite places and the many non-sailing activities to be enjoyed in these beautiful protected islands, if you've never sailed here before. And if you have, and we know many of you have, we hope watching this video brings back some very happy memories. We're Cheryl and Paul Shard, hosts of the Distant Shores Sailing Adventure TV series. We've been sailing and living aboard for 35 years, documenting the sailing lifestyle. Join us as we begin the next chapter of global voyaging on our new Headsail Orion 49.
The British Virgin Islands, or BVI, is a British overseas territory in the Caribbean, located east of Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. The territory is comprised of about 60 tropical islands, many of them uninhabited, that encircle the Sir Francis Drake Channel, creating a protected body of water, great for sailing and anchoring.
It was on a bareboat charter with friends in 1985, when we were in our 20s, that we both got hooked on the idea of building a boat and going cruising before settling down. That was 40 years ago. Since then, we have built and owned 5 boats, sailed over 130,000 nautical miles, have completed 11 ocean crossings, and explored many exotic and remote cruising destinations around the world. Blessed to be earning our living producing travel documentary television series and videos. But we keep coming back to the British Virgin Islands. Why? For the relaxed, easy sailing, unspoiled natural beauty, both above and below the sea, the many amenities catering to sailors, and that there's little worry about theft or other security issues here. The one thing to be considered is that cruising in the British Virgin Islands can be expensive. Everything has to be shipped in, and there is a high import tax on goods and services. Also, many of the best anchorages are filled with moorings, which cost $40 to $50 per night. But it makes mooring easy, no one drags into you, and you can reserve ahead in many cases. The harbors can be quite crowded too in high season. But we like the islands, not only for sentimental reasons, but because everything is set up to be easy, which makes sailing here a nice break for us. Plus, everyone chartering or cruising on their own boats are having such a good time with their family or friends. We like this festive, happy vibe. Yes, it does cost more to sail here than in other places in the Caribbean, but there are so many things that make up for it that we just budget accordingly, relax, and enjoy.
All year round, the Caribbean waters are great for sailing and also for diving. The BVI typically offers excellent underwater visibility, ranging from 60 to over 100 feet, 15 to 30 plus meters. Here is a nice dive site called the Indians, where a number of daytime moorings make it easy to tie up for an hour or so right close to the reef. You never know who you will meet, in this case a hawksbill turtle. Often around the shoreline there are various animals hiding behind a rock, such as this dinner plate-sized octopus. Many reef inhabitants like this scrawled filefish can change their colors to help them blend into the reef. Sandy Spit had a few small palms, which were washed away by Hurricane Irma in 2017, one of the strongest hurricanes ever recorded. Since then, optimistic sailors have planted these replacements. At the other end of Jost Van Dyke Island is the popular anchorage of White Bay. It has one of the finest beaches, supplied with some popular beach bars, including the Soggy Dollar, so named since you might have swum ashore and have soggy dollars in your swimsuit.
Probably the top attraction of the British Virgin Islands is the Baths. Another nice beach, but this one is littered by the largest boulders we've ever seen, forming amazing grottos and pools. Fun to explore. Snorkeling at Marina Cay is a highlight, and since our guest Lapka has never snorkeled before, I give her a guided tour to introduce her to the beauty beneath the sea here. These are blue tangs. The school has well over 100, and they browse the reef, nibbling on algae, performing a valuable function since the algae can smother the coral. We see some large sea fans, actually an animal, not a plant. They grow up to 4 to 5 feet across, filter feeding on plankton drifting by, so they prefer areas like this with some wave or current action.
Where we're moored, it's about 25 to 30 feet deep, about 10 meters, and these tarpon have found shelter in the shade under our boat. These guys are about 3 feet or 1 meter long, although they grow to be about twice this big.
There are many ways to visit the British Virgin Islands by boat, from small recreational sailboats to cruise ships and everything in between. We often see the Star Flyer when sailing between islands in the protected waters of the Sir Francis Drake Channel. She cruises with up to 170 passengers aboard.
There is a nice anchorage off Prickly Pear Island in North Sound at Virgin Gorda. Guest crew member Alexander practices tying on the anchor snubber, which we do using 2 rolling hitches in a row.
Like over here?
Yeah, 1 through, 2 through, and now... Then finally a locking hitch. That's it, 2 rolling hitches. So the only thing that you need to do now is, take that slack out. Then we cleat the snubber line on the bollard, so the tension on the anchor line is taken by the bollard instead of the windlass.
I am from the Netherlands, the place where this fantastic yacht was built. I think it started by watching your YouTube channel, then discovering the Sail Away weeks. And why did we want to sail? Because we thought it was a fantastic opportunity to sail with 2 super experienced sailors in the beautiful area, the Caribbean, and learn, because we're trying to learn how to sail and learn how to sail while doing it. So while actually sailing to islands, to beautiful places, and assisting Cheryl and Paul on their sailing trips, and by assisting also learning from Cheryl and Paul how to sail, how to anchor, and so on and so forth.
Really difficult with the weather forecasts here. They give a forecast for the whole area, and it was for rain today, but we've mostly had sunshine, which has been great. But just across the Sound at Laverick Bay, they've had rain for the last 15 minutes. So the forecast is true for them, but not for us. However, I think the rain is coming our way. And we got Alexander on the sheet as it comes out for later.
Today's project is to take down the forward genoa so we can put up the large Code Zero sail. Alexander's wife Sozit assists.
We saw Paul and Cheryl on YouTube and visited their website and discovered that they take people aboard their ship, or their boat, sorry, and we saw the British Virgin Islands as an option, and my husband and I have never been there, so we thought this was a great opportunity to go visit the BVIs and also learn to sail.
Stop lowering the halyard now.
We've unfurled the Genoa and are now taking it off the forestay. On Distant Shores 4, we use a new kind of halyard called the half-halyard system. This is commonly used with furling sails and reduces the amount of excess halyard rope that would otherwise hang coiled at the mast. This system involves a shorter, permanently installed halyard attached to the sail's head. To raise or lower the sail, a tensioning line is lashed on temporarily with this Dyneema lashing. Here you can see the heavy grey Dyneema braid above is the permanent half-halyard, lashed with a small line onto the speckled black and white line, which is the temporary halyard. Both our furling jibs use this system, as well as the in-mast furling mainsail.
The process of changing furling sails is a bit more involved than changing traditional hank-on sails, so we've waited for today's light wind conditions to be sure we can take our time and be attentive. So the strap comes off the Velcro. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty straightforward.
It is.
So the loop goes through.
Flaking the sail is the process of folding it up for storage, starting at the foot of the sail and hopefully making an accordion stack like this. We've tried to keep fore and aft tension on the stacks to reduce creases. Then we roll the sail up, starting at the clew. We're not there yet. Now we have to get out the larger Code Zero sail. It was a much windier day a few months ago when we took down the Code Zero, so it wasn't folded up very neatly.
And thanks to Alexander.
Thanks to Alexander and Suzy for being with
Yeah.
Thank us after the sail is up.
That's right.
These ones are the precision sail.
Yeah, so all our sails were done by UK diverse sails in
Except
the
for our
Netherlands,
beautiful new
except for
Sail
the
by provision sail.
yes.
Precision sails.
the new second Genoa. Once the new Genoa is stowed, we start the process of attaching our big light wind Code Zero sail.
The thing we feed in is the head. The head of the sail.
We enjoy having guests on board in the British Virgin Islands who are new to sailing and want to learn more. The islands are so protected and the sailing conditions are gentle and reliable, so it's a great place to try out the sailing lifestyle. Check the Distant Shores website or the description below if you'd like information on how to join us here or in other great cruising destinations. Bit more? That's good. Seems easier now, like the knot turned or something.
Is it good speed? Yeah. Yeah, it's good. Is it very hard? Is it easy to pull? It's easy to pull. Well, this is super exciting to get the Code Zero back on again and get a nice medium breeze day. The wind is about 10 or 11 knots, and then as we're going upwind, that makes our apparent wind about 14, which is perfect for this sail, right at about the limit of what the Code Zero can handle. We're heading across to Anegada, which is just a 14-mile crossing over from where we were in the Virgins. We get to Anegada, and we've got 11 meters of water as we come into the shallows toward the island, and we'll get the sails put away. This has been a great test to get the sail back up again after having it stored in the locker for a couple of months during the transatlantic, where we had the other sail on. So look at that sail, isn't she beautiful? The biggest sail we've ever owned.
After a lovely 15-mile beam reach, we're looking forward to dropping the hook and getting ashore on Anegada, where you can see one of the longest barrier reefs in the world. Then watch the sunset and enjoy a lobster dinner at one of the restaurants on the beach.
Beautiful.
Lobster dinner at the Anegada Reef Hotel.
We anchored in less than 2 meters of water behind the moorings. Anegada has a mooring field with more than 30 moorings, some reservable online and some first come first served. There's also a large area where you can anchor, but it's a little shallow. If your boat draws more than 6 feet, better to anchor further out. From the American NOAA pilot chart, you can see February in the Virgin Islands has winds force 4 from the east, that's 13 to 18 knots, blowing 48% of the time, and from the northeast, 30%. Basically, perfect sailing breezes most of the time. Then about 10% of the time, the wind comes from the southeast at force 3, that's 8 to 12 knots. So our code 0 sail will be flying on those lighter days, or when we go downwind.
Yeah, he's following them. Yeah, right next to him. Yeah, there was 2. Yeah, they've been 2 the whole time. There they are. They keep coming up.
It's not far to sail between islands to protected harbors like the Bight at Norman Island, where you can swim, snorkel, relax on a beach, visit a beach bar, or go for a walk to stretch your legs and take in the beautiful views.
Wildlife I've seen while being moored at the Bight at Norman Island. I went snorkeling right off the boat, and within I think 15 meters I spotted 2 stingray, 1 spotted eagle ray, and the day before I did swim with dolphins right at the same spot. There were 2 dolphins that we spotted. I jumped in and was able to catch up and swim with them. So that's definitely one of the highlights.
We love showing people the British Virgin Islands. 7 days provides a great opportunity to get to know the BVI. It's easy to plan nice sailing every day since the weather is very predictable and the seas are less than half a meter high in the protected waters of the Sir Francis Drake Channel. There are lots of nice anchorages available nearby, so you can plan a nice sail in the morning and explore your new destination in the afternoon.
I think it's a unique experience. You learn a lot, but it never feels like studying. It's a lot of fun. And last but most important, Cheryl and Paul are a fantastic company. If you want to spend time on board 24/7, if you want to do it with anybody, it's Paul and Cheryl.
The trip has exceeded my expectations. It has been an amazing, amazing experience. And I cannot express in words how wonderful it has been. It's going to be a memory that I'm going to have for a lifetime.
Okay. Whoops.